Hey, welcome back to Road Tripping with Rachel. I'm Rachel. Thank you so much for joining me here on this road trip. We have been doing videos and short lessons about Christ and the carols and about Advent all month long, but we are getting to the middle of the month now, and that is very important to me as a Swedish American. And that is St. Lucia Day is coming up. Last year, I actually went to a St. Lucia ceremony up in Swedesburg, Iowa. This year, not going to be able to do that, but I'm still going to make my Swedish Lusse bröd. So, I am super excited about that. I am going to be using the recipe that is in my complete baking cookbook. I've had this cookbook for years. I got it when I was like 12 or 13. I love it. It's great. It's got a ton of bread recipes in it. So, it has milk, saffron threads, white flour, ground almonds, salt, sugar, yeast, lukewarm water, and almond extract, which I need to grab the almond extract real quick. I know we have that because I intentionally picked some up. Okay. And yes, I have on a different apron. I've got on a Christmassy sweater, and I have on a red and green polka dot apron that has a pocket. So therefore it's already awesome. So I have already brought the milk to a boil. I've added the saffron threads into it. It is currently steeping. It got a little warm, but I was supposed to boil it. Like, it's just gonna happen. Butter is softening right now as we speak. I've also got yeast water going. I need to go on ahead and combine the flour, almond flour, salt, and sugar in a bowl. So this is calling for 3.5 cups of flour. As most of you know, I keep teacups in here, which is what I normally use for measuring. However, I'm planning on bringing this into work. So I actually need to be a bit more precise with this than I normally would be if it's just my family. I'll be throwing this into my KitchenAid, which I did not have last year, but thank you, Sarah and Travis, for having gotten me the KitchenAid last year for Christmas. Super excited about that. This will make this way easier this year than this was last year. 3 cups, and then half a cup. And then I have some almond flour, and it says I need half a cup. Now this actually calls for ground almonds. We all know ground almonds is another way of saying almond flour. Make sure we put the lid on. Ta-da! Now it's also calling for half a teaspoon of salt. So I got my salt box here. And since I'm sitting right here, we'll put that one away. And then sugar. It is calling for 6 tablespoons of sugar, which it always amazes me because I'm like, it's not that much. But it kind of is when you start to kind of see it all together. That's actually quite a bit. And I don't know, like, I don't know how many of you guys actually like do Christmas baking. Like, we have a family recipe that is for a stolen loaf, and I think, like, which is just German bread. That's all a stolen is. But there's 4. Sorry, 5 and 6. I don't know what a few. Okay. Okay, so there's my few drops. There is saffron in here, which if you watched this last year I was like, oh my gosh, that little thing of saffron is $19. So, needless to say, I did not repurchase that. This is the saffron I bought last year, but it still did what it was supposed to do. As much as it costs, that stuff better be made of gold. I've mixed the yeast with the saffron liquid and the extract, And now I need to add it to the flour mixture, and then we're gonna make a dough out of that, and I'm gonna add the softened butter to it. So I'm not gonna show you all of that. I'm gonna get this over to the KitchenAid, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just got it out of the mixer. I've already kneaded the bread. So this is what it ended up looking like once I added in the butter. So it actually is quite oily. One of the things like my mom kind of taught me was, you know, make sure you taste things even though it's raw. To go ahead, there's actually nothing in it that would actually hurt you. So like feel free to eat it raw. But there is like to taste it and just kind of see where it's at. I like this because even though it looks like you're putting a whole lot of salt, or not salt, sugar into it, because with the 6 tablespoons, it's really very palatable, like even in its raw form. So there's not a lot, it's not super sweet. I think it's the combination of the amount of salt you put into it as well as like the saffron. It has, and then I'll combine with the almond extract and then the flour. It's got a very kind of like earthy, nutty taste to it. But this needs to rise for an hour, so we're gonna go ahead and cover it. I'm gonna put it back like on the mixing stand. That way it's just out of the way. That's me personal thing. I like to keep it just out of the way. I'm gonna finish getting the counter cleared up, then get some dishes washed, and then we'll come back to it where we will begin to form our fun shapes. You make a lot of twists and swirls with Lusse bread, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so it's been an hour. I've been letting the dough have the chance to rise. It's got a little bit of rise to it. It's not going to have a whole lot. Not a ton of yeast goes into this. It'll also, I keep my apartment somewhat cool with my roommate. So I imagine it's probably going to rise a little bit more once we actually get in the oven. At least that's what happened last year. But we are going to take this and we are going to make a bunch of different shapes. I've been showing you my baking book, but I do have another one that is called Fika. So I actually bought this last year while I was at the St. Lucia Day. Now there's, this book refers to the rolls as Lusse bread. Now this one is Lusse. So in other words, it's saffron buns. But this one, what I really, and they have a slightly different recipe. There's also calls for whiskey or cognac, neither of which I have. And more sugar, more flour. Well, it also makes a much larger batch. But they have in here, they show you all the different rolls you can make. So this is really cool. So you have the Yule-Gold, which is the Christmas pig, Lucia, which is Lucia cat, Preston's hair, which is this is the hair of the priest. I think it looks a little bit like an octopus. Yule-Kuse, which is a horse, Lindenbarret, which is the little baby, Gulvan, golden wagon, and the Liren, which is the lyre. So those are all different types of like rolls that you can make. Doing Finny. And yes, the cat is off the corner, although he does not come in the kitchen. He knows better. He might come and wrap himself around my legs, but that's about it. So we have four. Okay, we need to divvy some of these bigger ones up. Okay, so we got 12, but let's go ahead and because this will be something really fun. Like if you have kids, or actually, even if you're not Swedish, which I mean, majority US is not. And really, I only became interested in St. Lucia Day mainly because I read American Girl in Kirsten. That was the first tip off to it, but also I am more interested in like where I come from. I think with the Lingen Bernet, like that. Yeah. Making like fun shapes. Do this with pizza dough. Like either make your own pizza dough or go buy some. I think you can get some if you live near like a Whole Foods. You can get some that's like already pre-made. But you can do this with like homemade pizza dough, make breadsticks out of it, and then like just have fun with it. Like get your kids involved with making it. You can turn it into like snakes and make animals, and you could make do like I'm doing and making little like fun and cool shapes out of it to like serve for like meals, or you know, you can have a lot of fun with this just in general. Like this is why I enjoy baking, and particularly why I enjoy bread making. But let's go ahead. I'm going to turn this off so I can get this done and not have like awkward conversation with you because you're not replying back. And I'm going ahead and get these made, and then I'll show you what I did with them afterwards. Into a 400-degree oven for 15 minutes. And these are the final product. So we have the Lingen Barnet, we have the Yule House, and then we have the Yule Goat. So the Christmas pig, the Christmas horse, the little child. And that is how I make my Lusse brood for St. Lucia Day. So this is going to be on the 13th of December. You're not seeing it that day. You'll see this video on the 14th. But I hope that you enjoyed getting to see me make a traditional dessert baked good that the people of Sweden also enjoy having. And that if you want to check out the complete baking, it is available on Amazon. I'm not sponsored at all, as is the Fika book. It's also available. And if you live anywhere in like northeast Missouri, or even actually central Missouri, and you ever want to go up and learn more about Swedish American heritage, you can go up to the Swedish American History Museum, which is in Swedesburg, Iowa. I'm not sponsored by them at all, but I do follow them on their social media platforms. It's run by the coolest group of people, and there's so much history and a lot of really cool stuff to buy if you're really into the Scandi style of things. But I hope to see you all next time. Bye!